What's up, everybody? All right, so we're on TikTok and YouTube. So not not really what what I told you guys it was going to be. We are doing a little year-end review for calling all bowlers. I don't know how long we'll be on here, but needless to say, Curtis and Dustin. Dustin's under the weather, and Curtis is having some personal issues of his own. So we are just gonna talk a little bit with you guys about the year in review because Christmas is around the corner. 2025 will be here before we know it. So, um, I started up calling all bowlers. Um, I honestly think I started it back in January of this year. Wanted to branch out and do my own little podcast, and so that's what we were doing. And I had an assortment of guests on the show, which I was very appreciative of them doing that. So, but I'm gonna go through here. And hey, Craig, welcome in to the show. Everybody else out there, welcome. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Leave a comment. Let me know you're here in the chat. You can also catch me here on YouTube, and I appreciate you guys joining us. Um, Brian, welcome in. Like I said, I got some people on TikTok. I've got one person watching here on YouTube. If you're watching here on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know you're here and say hey. And we're going to make the best of this. Again, like I said, Dustin is under the weather. Curtis is having himself a personal day. So I just decided we're going to get on here and talk to you guys on both platforms as I promised. It's not really the 1 year anniversary show for DGAB. That's going to be pushed to a later date. It's got to be all three of us, or it's just not going to work. So I figured I'd come on here and I'd just do calling all bowlers, a little 2024 year in review. So over the course of the year, I had 15 guests for calling all bowlers, and what I want to do is I just want to go back through and talk a little bit about who joined us on the show. Tell us a little bit about how they did, what they're up to now that I know of. So if anybody's in here that knows any kind of an update on them, let me know. That would be great. But so to start off the very first episode, episode 1, which I am doing my research as we speak. Again, guys and gals, I appreciate y'all joining me in. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to plan the plan B, plan C back up for the show. So I do appreciate you guys being very patient with me. And yeah, like I said, we're trying to go back. I'm actually going. I haven't seen you on here, Miss Pam. How you doing? And Britt has joined us. Welcome in, Miss Britt. And I'm actually getting ready to talk about you, Britt. So you kind of, tell us what's been going on with you. And since you were actually the very first guest on episode 1 of Calling All Bowlers, again, I'm getting to my channel right now. I really want to tell you guys about where we where we started and where we're at right now. I don't want to play anything. Um, is the hammer effect a good house shot ball, Kenny? Uh, any anytime anytime you use the effect is a good day. So yeah, it'd be a pretty decent house shot ball. So anywho, let's get on here. So I am pulling up when we originally broadcast this episode. Here. Oh, so our very first episode of Calling All Bowlers was on April 23rd, 2024. And the first guest was Miss Brittany Charles. And I know she's in the chat room for TikTok. So, Brittany, how have you been doing? And I recently just saw the story that Brittany has joined up with Viz Sportswear. And she's definitely been improving herself. She found herself a new boyfriend, working for Storm, from what I understand. So a lot of big things have happened to Brittany this year. So, Brittany, if you're in here, you're in the chat room, let us know what's been going on with you. We'd love to hear from you and get caught up on how 2024 has been for you. That would be fantastic. Um, that's pretty much just kind of a little. Basically, I always read off this little stuff. You nailed it in one. Okay, cool, awesome, fantastic. Any new high games, Britt? Anything that's been going on there? Your leagues, tournaments, if you want to let us know what's going on, leave the comment in the chat. I do appreciate that. So basically, the way I did this is I did a little thing on my website. If you go to damngoodaveragebowler.net, you can click on the Calling All Bowlers tab. You can access all of these previous episodes. This is not really going to be like an official episode number, but this is just kind of like a little year in review. Let's see, 0 practice yesterday, 7, shot 216. Okay, all right, that's an achievement in itself. The older you got to get loose and more limber and what have you. So, I definitely couldn't have done that. So, good on you, girl. Basically, I said our first episode features Brittany Charles, a bowler from Utah, who has a big presence on TikTok. We go over a variety of bowling topics. Brittany explains how she got started on TikTok and offers advice to help other bowlers wanting to kickstart their social media adventures. That was a pretty good episode. We did that, I believe, in less than an hour. Let me see here. Yeah, we did that in 57 minutes and 20 seconds. So that was a pretty cool deal. Let's see, sometimes no practice helps me. Hey, you know what? Hey, more power to you. I can't do it. It's just one of those things. We could have gone longer. You're right, Brett. But I believe you were on a time crunch that day, and you had stuff you had to get done. So I made sure to keep it under an hour. So, but that was a really good rock and roll episode, and then our second episode. It's funny how the second episode came about because I think Miss Jen was watching our episode, Brett, and I'm going to have to watch. I'm going to have the boyfriend watch. Okay, sweet. That sounds good. But Jen was commenting on our episode and how good it went, and I actually messaged her shortly after, and I asked her. I said, "Do you want to be a part of an episode?" And she thought I was kidding with her. She thought that there was no reason for her to come on and do the episode, and but I told her, I said, no, it'd be really good perspective. And I did comment on bowlers because I have that goal of interviewing one bowler out of all the states. And needless to say, I feel like I've covered about 13 states so far. So I'm looking to hit my goal of all 50 states. So we got on there. This was like a little 50-minute, 31-second podcast for episode 2. And I actually did it 2 days later with her because I was actually on vacation from work. So that's how these episodes came so frequently. But talking to Jen, I don't know if you guys check her out, check out her TikTok. It is at No Spares. I always tag her in all my videos because she has been a very big supporter since day one, like Brittany. And she posts a lot of bowling content. She does a lot of family-oriented content too with her bowling, involving her bowling, which is always a wonderful thing. She is one half of the Tennessee Twins, her and Stephanie. And I'll get to Stephanie here in a little bit because she was a guest on the show this year also. So that was a pretty cool deal. Jen was very reserved. No, Patrick, you're good. No worries, buddy. No worries. You're good. But talking to Jen, let's see if I've got any. No, I ain't got nobody on. I got nobody on YouTube, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now on TikTok, this little band thing that's supposed to be coming up in January or March or whenever happens. I am going to encourage you guys to come over to the YouTube channel. Give me a subscription. Give me a subscribe down here. Doesn't cost anything on YouTube. Just need your subscribe. That would be really great. Right now, we're sitting at 470 subscribers on YouTube. Redneck, good to see you again, buddy. But we're trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys wouldn't mind coming on, that would be fantastic. Just in case this little TikTok ban becomes a thing here in the states. I hope it don't, because TikTok is my number one and YouTube is my number two right now as far as ranks go, as far as content is based here. So, getting back to it though, talking to Jen again, she's really considered herself a beginner. One thing I noticed about Jen through all of her bowling videos is how much she has improved upon her game. She started with a brace. She's not using a brace right now, I know of. Uh, One thing about it too is if you guys are ever interested in reading paragraphs to a novel, and I don't mean no disrespect by that, I mean like really good, checking in how she's doing with her bowling. She also posts a lot of blogs on Facebook, and again, they are novels and they are wonderful to read. So uh, give her a follow if you've not done so already on TikTok. It is at No Spares, or you just type in Jen and you see the at handle of No Spares. Give her a follow. Jennifer is an absolutely wonderful person, and I am so happy and I'm so glad she decided to come on and be a guest. And so right now, I'm going to keep me a little checklist of all of the states of who I've interviewed people from. So right now is Utah and Tennessee for my first two episodes. Episode 3, that pulled up right now, was with my good buddy Jackson Socks Styles. I cannot say enough things about Socks. Socks is one of the most decorated bowlers that I was ever blessed with. Being able to have even remotely a little bit of a footprint into how his bowling has evolved over the course of the year, but over the course of the last 8 years. Because if you know Jackson, like I said, I'm gonna call him Socks because that's the nickname I gave him. And but the thing with Socks is he really wanted to learn at a young age. I took him in when he was a sophomore in high school, and he was very green. He was, he was a student of the game. That's the best thing I can. That's the best way I can describe Socks. He's a student of the game. He wants to get better, and he still wants to get better, and he's still doing what he's doing. And he ended up moving up to Ohio. So I technically, even though he's from the same hometown as me, I actually interviewed somebody in Ohio. So that was a pretty cool deal for me. I was really glad to do it. That episode, again, everything is on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to archive it, it has got all 15 episodes of Calling All Bowlers. I'm super thrilled. I'm super excited. I'm super everything when it comes to this. What part of Ohio, Brian? He's in the Cincinnati area. Yeah, he is in the Cincinnati urban area. So he's gone to a lot of Cincinnati Reds games, been to a couple Bengals games. But the thing about Sox is he's catching up with me on 300s, and I won't be with the way he keeps shooting. Looks like one every other week. He's going to surpass me here before we know it. So, but he ended up going to Tennessee. He went up to Tennessee Martin, which used to be Martin Methodist, and it was coached by Bob Learn Jr. and Amoletto Monticelli. So he got to absorb a lot of knowledge from them. But he called me one night and he was like, "Hey, I don't think I'm being utilized the way I think I should. I think I've been very patient about stuff." And I pretty much told him, I said, Sox, take a leap of faith. I said, make a move, do something. And he moved up. He moved up to the Cincinnati area. He started out working in a shop, and now he's in various jobs from here to there. And he met a wonderful young lady. Her name's Maddie, and I'm so proud of Maddie because Maddie recently just rolled her very first 300 game in league, and it was super cool to see. I'm using the word super a lot because that's what this year has entailed, y'all, with Calling All Bowlers. It has been super. It has been so good of where we started and where we've came from. So I'm just in just the 8 months that I started doing Calling All Bowlers, and us, myself, Dustin Curtis doing DGAB podcast. It's just been a really really cool deal. So but no, Sox right now, they're still up there. They're still bowling tournaments. They're still doing leagues. They're still doing sweepers. And again, like I said, he recently just rolled another 300 game, which, again, you know Sox like I do, you're like, okay, well, I'm not surprised. So but that's pretty much the latest update. I haven't really got a chance to talk to Sox in a while, so hopefully he'll give me a call someday and kind of just check in and let me know what's going on with him. So that brings us to our fourth episode, and episode 4 was originally aired. Let me find it. Ah, yes, okay. So I don't know if I said. Let me go back here to Sox here. So Sox is uh, yeah, so Sox's episode was originally streamed on May 11th, 2024, and then episode 4 featured our good buddy Paul Dorchak. Paul represent on my podcast the state of Oregon, who is right now the only college football team that is undefeated, even though Paul is not a Ducks fan. Paul is an Oregon State Beavers fan. So we got that going. And I featured my good buddy Dustin on here because Dustin has lived in Oregon before and they had a lot of the stuff in common. Um, they had a lot of stuff in common with their bowling. They knew bowling centers, stuff like that. Meeting everyone in the DGAP. Yes, you are, sir, because I was thinking about trying it. Joker, go in there and register, bowl the tournament, man. Give it a shot. See what you think, man. The only one way to get experience is to go out there and do it. So, but episode 4 featured Mr. Paul Dorchak. Paul is here. I believe his @ handle is Darth Viper. But Paul, Paul is kind of one of the originals of the. Paul was one of those guys that basically came on and was like, "Hey, Mike, when are we going to have some DGAB jerseys?" He goes, "I totally would wear one." And he bought a hat when I started doing hats and stuff like that. Um, and when we finally was able to put together the when we were finally able to put together and get the jerseys in, he was like one of the first to jump and go, "Oh, I want that!" Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, it's going to be hard though because they only have to. Well, I get yourself pre-registered. That's all I can tell you, Joker. I see I have one set of eyes on the YouTube channel. If you're in here and you're watching me, please leave a comment. Let me know you're in here because I know usually I get a lot more on TikTok than I do YouTube because I'm letting you guys know right now, just in case they decide to just throw us all off on TikTok. We're coming over here to YouTube, and that's where you're going to see most of my content from here on out. I did recently upload and start Lemon 8. It's kind of a slow thing. I'm steadily growing, just a little bit at a time. Nothing like TikTok, but you know, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment. Let me know you're in here. So just let me know, man. Guy, gal, whoever, just let me know you're in here. I would appreciate it. But anyway, getting back to the review, year in review, Calling All Bowlers episode 4 was on May 18th of 2024. It featured our good buddy Paul Dorchak. Paul is very passionate. He's a big time diehard Oregon State Beavers, Oakland A's fan. And he told us a little bit about that. Him and Dustin, they got to mingling and talking about how, things in common from Oregon and all that. And they knew exactly where each other was talking about, which I thought was a really cool deal. And that's why I really wanted to feature Dustin on there because of the whole Oregon, tracing it back to the state of Oregon. So look at that. In 4 episodes, and I've covered 4 of the 50 states. It's just such a cool deal, y'all. It's the coolest thing in the world. But no, Paul's still bowling tournaments. Paul still tags me with his scores. Uh, he comes into some of the late night lives that I do here on TikTok. And I mean, like I said, Paul's absolutely out there putting in the work and getting better. And, again, he is the real reason why we have DGAB jerseys. He was one of the catalysts to get us going on that. Him and Dustin both, actually. So, if you end up buying a jersey or something, please make sure to let give Paul your thanks because he was the one that really put the catalyst together when I wasn't really thinking about. I was thinking about merch, but I wasn't thinking about merch, if that makes sense. So, but like I said, 4 episodes in a number of weeks and just boom, boom, boom. So, but anywho, that one lasted about the last two episodes. Like I said, Socks has lasted 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 59 seconds. Uh, and then his episode with Paul was 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 16 seconds. So yeah. Oh, Brian, absolutely, it's one of the best ones I've ever worn. And again, a lot of compliments to it, and so just again, uh, knock on wood, haven't heard a bad thing about the jersey. So obviously we're doing something right. So, but anywho, um, getting on to let's see here. All right, so our fifth episode. Let me get this loaded here. Our fifth episode was with one Michelle Oxford. Michelle is a local here in Huntsville, and funny thing about this episode, y'all, is we were having some technical difficulties because of the bowling center, the Wi-Fi, and the internet was not really cooperating with us. So she would go out on my end, I would go out on her end, and we would just like, we're trying to match up and we're doing this. But Michelle, she was a really Michelle is one of the most sweetest people I have ever met in my entire life, and it's like Curtis said. Um, uh, One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. We'll get her and her husband John. They'll give you the shirt off their back. Um, Big time Georgia Bulldog fans, and I always have a little fun with them because they know how much of a Bama fan I am, and we come to the commonality of like this couple, like a last weekend when Georgia beat Texas, and I was pulling for Georgia to beat Texas because I haven't heard anybody that really says, "Hey, we wanted Texas to win." So, but that was a pretty fun deal. Michelle's bowling one. She's bowling two leagues. She bowls her Monday afternoon senior league. She bowls the Wednesday morning Young at Heart senior league. And what's up, Grit? Welcome in. Uh, Hello, how's your evening going? It is going good. We're just doing a little Calling All Bowlers podcast review. We were going to do our Damn Good Average Bowler podcast 1 year anniversary show, but unfortunately, Dustin is under the weather and Curtis is in here right now, but Curtis is having himself a personal day. So, we're going to regroup and hopefully we will finally get this 1 year anniversary show for DGAB. I'm really excited. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with it. But Grit, no, thank you for your comment. Happy to have found your channel. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much. You are welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Miss Swan is in here. Curtis, thanks for the perfume. Uh, so yeah, all right, we got two people on the YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, please leave me a comment. I want to see who all is watching. And for those of y'all out there, Miss Swan, welcome, man. But for those of y'all, if TikTok does get banned on us, I'm pushing. I'm going to tell everybody to come over, give a subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's where all the content is going to go from there. And it goes there anyway. I do TikTok and then I throw it right back here on YouTube. So, you guys come over. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. I appreciate it. But anyway, getting back to episode 5 here. Y'all, I don't have a guide or anything. I'm kind of just winging it here just because this is like complete C plan backup talking to you guys on both YouTube and TikTok. So welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. But getting back, talking to Michelle again, one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. She really wants to get better at bowling. She has done almost every clinic since I've met her. Her and her husband have done every clinic I've ever put on, and they want to learn and they want to get better at it. And she comes to me. She is a big time Motive fan. She's a big time, big Motive fan. So anytime she wants a Motive ball, she comes in and asks me, and I give her my honest opinion about whether it'll match their game or not. But Michelle, really nice person. She's only been bowling for about a year and a half, 2 years, stuff like that. And again, she really absorbs the knowledge that you give to her. She is very, very intent on listening, and it's one of those few traits that are missing in this game today. So, but her episode. Let me see when this was originally aired. This was originally aired on June 8th of this year. So, moving on, episode 6 of Calling All Bowlers. We had our good friend, Mr. Richard Anderson. also known on here on the TikTok world as Rich Gang. We aired this episode on June 15th of this year. And this was our one of our longest running episodes, almost pushing the 2 hour mark at 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 23 seconds. And the one thing that stood out to me with Richard is we got to talking about our commonality of how we feel about handicap tournaments and how we feel certain people try to uh, fudge stuff to their advantage. And we were going down a big time rabbit hole, and I had to pull us out of it. He talked to us about how, at the time, I think he only had one 300 game, but ever since then, I think he's rolled two more 300 games since. I've seen it on TikTok a couple of times. Again, he's various when it comes to his arsenal. I mean, he's got some hammer in there, he's got some storm, he's got some 900 global, he's got some DV8. But Richard, very knowledgeable. I am so happy he agreed to be a guest on the episode, and he comes to us from the good old state of South Carolina. So right there, 6 episodes in, and I've covered 6 states out of my 50-state goal. So, but like I said, really good, long in-depth episode. We talked about a lot of good stuff. So there you go. Let's see here, episode 7. Okay, there we go. So episode 7 was broadcasted on June 22nd of this year, and it was our good friend Jen. She goes by Jenners. She goes by Jen Fax. Paya Yavong. I don't know if I said that right. If she comes in here and sees this, Jen, I am so sorry if I butchered your last name. I did the best I could. So, but episode 7 featured Jen, and she came to us from the big old western state of California. So I pretty much almost have covered the West Coast states out of my first 7 episodes. Jen is a hairstylist, and she is a very avid bowler. She basically, her episode, let's see here, get a little description about it here. So Jen talked to us about being a hairstylist during the day and a bowler by night. Told us a little bit, I'm reading this verbatim off of my website, how the bowling culture is in California and about her recent tournament experiences. I've seen Jen is very active on Instagram. Most of her bowling content I've seen is on Instagram. So if you haven't seen any of her lately on TikTok, go over to her Instagram page and give her a follow. She posts really good bowling content. That episode lasted 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 22 seconds. And again, as I said, it was streamed live on June 22nd of this year. So really, really cool stuff. Most definitely with Miss Jen. Like I said, really good getting to know her. She's ordered some stickers for the brand. And again, just really a really good interview, a really good person to talk to. Just very kind-hearted, very in tune with how her game is. And one of the things about Jen, I can tell you guys, is she knows her stuff more than she lets on. Like she knows all about that ball. She knows all about that bowling terminology that we go through in the pro shop. So just on her part, just really good stuff. And I'm really proud of the fact that I had her on the podcast, I should say. And then now we're going into the other half of the Tennessee Twins, episode 8. You can hearing that in the background. So there, right there. Let's see here. So that was now my second interview from the state of Tennessee. Episode 8 featured our good friend Stephanie Critchard. And Stephanie is from the Nashville area. And this was streamed on June 29th of this year. One thing about Stephanie, we talked about how she rolled her 300 games back in the day, how she did a long layoff, and how she ended up getting back into the swing of things. She is very active on TikTok. So if you're not giving her a follow, check her out. It's Steph Strikes Again. That is her @ handle. She is really on her game. Like I said, her and Jen are, I call them the Tennessee Twins. I'm definitely planning sometime in 2025 to have both of them on Calling All Bowlers as co-guests again and kind of get things updated with them, stuff of that nature. Um, so, but yeah, she does a lot of Guess My Series stuff. She is again, she's very knowledgeable about bowling balls. Again, very big supporter of the brand. I think she has just about every piece of merch that we have that we have available to offer people. The only thing about it is I haven't seen her on any of the lives in a while. She does comment on a couple of my things, but Steph, if you're out there, I hope you're doing well, and we hope to get you back on the show real soon. So basically, her little description I put on here was like Stephanie talks to us about her 300, 800 honor scores, taking time off and coming back to bowling, and she even had her a recent experience with her and Jen going to a PWBA Pro-Am event that took place at Smyrna, which was a really cool deal. So really, really happy to get Stephanie on the show. That episode went 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 35 seconds. And again, like I said, just good stuff right here. We're moving on through episode 9. Coming up next was from our good buddy John Leavitt. He helped me cover the state of Florida. So I went from California to Tennessee to Florida, just like that in the last previous 3 episodes I'm talking about here. Um, John John is a very John is a very passionate, interesting character. I love John. John rolled a couple 300 games. He told us about the episode. Um, I had Dustin hang in here with us to do this episode because it was just that good. But John is from Orlando. Um, he talks to us about transitioning from one-handed to two-handed bowling, the excitement surrounding his first 300 game, the trash talking he does with his father over the phone, and his approach to having fun in league by complimentary trash talk. Yes, again, very energetic. Uh, really, just knowing how to push the envelope with people. But that was John. John. I mean, I see John still kind of live streaming every once in a while. Uh, John, again, buddy, I appreciate you being a guest on the Calling All Bowlers podcast. And wherever you're at, buddy, I hope you're rocking and rolling. I hope you're still rolling that rock like you were when we last talked to you, because that episode was streamed live on July 13th of this year. So yeah, there we go. So we're rock and roll. We were already halfway through. Like, think about that, y'all. I did 9 episodes from April to July. Just insane stuff. So um, we're gonna move on now to episode 10. Are there episodes on? Yeah, like I'm actually Grit. I'm actually doing my live stream on TikTok and YouTube as we speak. So it shows I've got one person in there watching this. So, and I'm trying to get people like, hey, if you're watching it on the YouTube, come over there and leave a comment and let me know everything's going good and that you're seeing what you need to see. And leave a comment. It'd be great. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, simulcasting and everything. Uh, the whole archive of episodes for the DGAB podcast and the Calling All Bowlers podcast are all there for you guys to watch at your convenience. So I really appreciate it. So, but moving on, we got to episode 10, and this was a very special milestone episode. Y'all have got to stand up because sometimes these seats, they do not like to cooperate with me. So, but episode 10 featured our very first professional bowler on the show. Her name is Melanie McDaniel. I have known Melanie for a very long time. We are going on about 14 years. I've known Melanie, and she is from the great state of Illinois. So that right there has helped me. In 10 episodes, I have covered 9 states in 10 episodes. So, uh, but the thing about it is she was bowling. She bowls on the PWBA. This episode went almost 2 hours because there was just so much to talk about with Melanie. We were talking about her experiences on the tour, what the difference is from being on tour versus just bowling in your usual league environment and just bowling in your non-professional tournaments. Yep, you're good. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Yep. All right. Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for leaving a comment there, brother. I do appreciate it. So that okay, as long as everything's going good, I'm looking down, looking up, trying to pay attention to two cameras at once. It's kind of funny. But no, talking about Melanie. So Melanie used to bowl for Alabama A&M. She bowled when my boss Jeff was still the head coach of the women's bowling team. Wayne, thank you so much for all the fest burst. I do appreciate it, and liking the live. Do appreciate that a whole lot. Thank you so much. But yeah, so episode 10, it was a big milestone, and I knew I wanted to have something, and I really wanted to bring the bang, and she provided that. Like I said, we gave her a bunch of pro names. We did one word associations. It's kind of like this: is basically said like this. Talked to us about her bowling upbringing, committing to the Alabama A&M women's bowling team, her car accident in 2014 that caused her not to bowl for 7 years, her career on the PWBA tour, and she even has become a collegiate bowling coach for one of the schools. I cannot remember for the life of me, but it's up there in Illinois. So if any of y'all got daughters that are getting ready to graduate and looking to pursue the collegiate bowling, you need to look up in Illinois and give Melanie a ring, because she's a very good coach and she's definitely got the pedigree for it. And I was just really happy to have her. And I was also happy that Dustin came on there and helped us out with that episode, because that was a big one. So, like I said, that episode lasted 1 hour 58 minutes and 24 seconds, just to give you guys some perspective. So, and then we started a new chapter. We went to episode 11. Which originally aired on July 27th of this year. And it was from our good buddy James Moore, who is also from Alabama. He is the current Alabama A&M head coach for the women's bowling team. And Coach Moore came into the shop. I take care of his bowling equipment in the pro shop. I take care of his girls' equipment when he needs me to work on them for them. And he came in and we got talking about a lot of different stuff. And I was like, hey, it'd be really cool to have a coach's actual perspective of on my podcast. Would you want to be a guest? And he was definitely on board for it, which was really cool. And basically what I post on my website is James talks to us about how he got into bowling, how long he's been in Huntsville, what made him start up the Rolex Academy Youth Program, which is still going, by the way, here, and how he ultimately became Alabama A&M's women's bowling team head coach. So, that was just a kind of like I said, it was about an hour-long episode, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 12 seconds, originally aired on July 27th of this year. And James has some unique perspectives. It's definitely a different perspective versus as far as like being a coach in the collegiate environment versus rolling in leagues, rolling in tournaments yourself. It's just a very, very different perspective. And I was really glad to have him on there to, give us that perspective and let us know what, how it was actually different, because I've never been like a head coach of anything. I've been offered, but I never took it. But I was really glad that James came on and provided us the good example of all of that. So that was a really cool deal. And then moving on to episode 12, get this here for y'all. It was with our good buddy Mike Roseman. Now, let me tell you about Mike. Mike is a proprietor who runs 2 bowling centers in the state of Iowa. One of those bowling centers, he had Seth Rollins come in. You guys know who Seth Rollins is. It was a talking point on our show for episode 12. But I liked having Mike on the show because he gave us the perspective of what it was like being a proprietor a sole proprietor of a bowling alley, not run by, the corporate aspect, which we all know how that goes and everything. It was really good to have that perspective from Mike, and I was really happy that he came on and wanted to talk to us. In our description, he's also known as the Bowling Guy, and he's also here on TikTok, Bowling Guy. He posts a lot of funny content that happens around the bowling center. Haven't seen anything in a while, but Mike, I hope you're doing well out there, and we'd love to hear from you again, dude, and just stay in touch. But basically, I said first is our first sole proprietor guest on the show. Mike and his family own two bowling centers that have two completely different identities. And he discusses the difference and how he has adapted to being a proprietor in today's world of the bowling business. That was a really good episode. So if you're looking for advice and stuff like that, go check out that episode. That episode originally aired on August 3rd of this year. Like I said, y'all, 12 episodes within 4 months. So I was averaging 3 episodes a month because I was just really trying to get my feet wet with this. And again, like I said, Dustin really inspired me being the host of our DGAB podcast, and it's just like something I wanted to do. And we're sitting here doing it, and it's a really cool thing, y'all. I'm really proud of what Calling All Bowlers has become, even though I haven't really done it much here lately. Because, like I said, y'all, football season it's a totally different animal down here in Bama. So. But yeah, if you got a chance, go over there, check that episode out with Mike. Mike's got a lot of good background information about running bowling centers. I know one of the things that stood out in that episode, besides the fact that their house shot had provided X amount of honor scores, 300 and 800 in a single season, his perspective is the future is stream pins. So, Austin, welcome in. I hope you're having a great evening, sir. Welcome to the year in review. Thank you for the heart me of Calling All Bowlers. I do appreciate it. That's what we're doing right now. So we're 12 episodes in, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. And that brings us to episode 13. And what better episode to bring in for the 13th episode than from the state of Michigan, our good boy himself, Mr. Wayne Hoke, also known as Waniac Bowling on here on the TikTok. And I was what can I say? What can I say about Wayne? I love Wayne. He is the character among characters. I'm telling you guys, okay? He has got a very, I call this tongue-in-cheek, funny, poking at him, unhealthy obsession with Jopo grips. I love you, buddy. I'm just messing with you. You know that. But he does. He's with Jopo, and just very knowledgeable about the game. Really, Austin, thanks for sending the donut too. Jeff, welcome in. Good to see you again. Um, Wayne came on the show. That episode originally aired on August 10th of this year, and we really hit right into it. One of the things that we talked about, he talked to us about some of his bowling accomplishments, how he handled coaching a high school team, and he gave his thoughts about local and state Hall of Fame criteria requirements, because we all know that sometimes you just don't know whether the criteria actually meets a position of being able to come in and being a member of the Hall of Fame. So he gave a really cool perspective on that. Like I said, Waniac Bowling, he's on TikTok. If you've not done so already, go give our boy Wayne a follow. He's, like I said, good at what he knows, very big supporter of the brand. And, he is our residential G because of him and Joel. And we all know about that. We all know about how good they mingle with each other on Joel's lives. It's good stuff. So, and that brings us to the year in review of episode 14. This is probably the most anticipated episode in its series, because it was none other than our good buddy Joel Ison, also known on here as Hoodie Bowler 300, also known as Dynamics Bowling. This originally aired on August 17th of this year, and this was our longest running episode at a stout 2 hours and 45 minutes and 41 seconds. We had a lot of stuff to talk about, and Dustin, I wanted Dustin to be a part of this. Dustin wanted to be a part of this. So we got on there and we made this happen. And I mean, like, it's the episode started where Joel was outside on his, I think it was on his front porch or balcony. And by the time it was done, it was like completely dark outside. So that tells you how long this episode ran. And it was just awesome stuff. And again, Indiana. So I went Utah, Tennessee twice, Ohio, Oregon, Bama twice, South Carolina, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Indiana. Great episode. I listen to it at work at least once a week. I'm telling you, man. Like I said, we had a lot of stuff we talked about. Joel, as many of you know, Joel is a pro shop operator just like myself. And basically, the here is what we went through. Originally from New Jersey, Joel has created a huge following on TikTok. Experienced almost 3 hours of Joel telling his story of how he got started in bowling, how he wound up in Indiana working for Tim Mack, and how his most recent journey of switching to two hands has been for him. Michael, myself, and Joel discuss similarities of working inside a pro shop and the ups and downs of said pro shop. Hayden, welcome in. Again, a lot of stuff we talked about in that episode, and just, I mean, what can you say for somebody that has the pedigree? The offhand tangents were hilarious. Yes, yes, they were absolutely, Brian. I mean, what can you say about a guy? And this is the thing about it with Joel. Okay, Joel stuck. Joel stuck out to me when I first entered into his lives, and he welcomed me with open arms. And it was one of those things where it was like, one thing that's really important to me is like, if I'm a pro shop operator. I'm not going to go into somebody else's live on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and they're a pro shop operator, and I'm not going to tell them how to do things, because we all have our system of how we run a pro shop. And uh, it could be a comedian. Yes, yes, he could. You're absolutely right, Hayden. Game 738 today. Congratulations on that 738, Hayden. Great bowling today, buddy. So a quick shout out to you. Hunter, welcome in. I saw you come in here. Kyle, welcome back. Grit, thanks for liking the live. I do appreciate it. But I mean, again, there's only what can be said. I mean, other than, or basically, that hasn't already been said when it comes to Joel. Joel is very passionate about the game. Joel has an opinion that everybody knows about. Um, and we all know what that one opinion is that he's very strong about. It is urethane and house shots. That is the one thing that guy cannot stand. And he lets everybody know. And I'm so happy that he decided to come on to the podcast. Right now, what does he have going on? He still does his TikTok lives when he's in the shop. And he's also doing a podcast every Friday night about, I think it's 9:30. He does it with Butchie and he does it with Jeter. And I was watching them for about 30 to 45 minutes last night while I was eating dinner. Oh, and short patterns. Yes, yes. Right you are, Jeff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very stand-up guy that is willing to help at the opportunity. Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing about it. Like, he comes into my lives and he doesn't say anything unless I ask him. And it's vice versa as well. If me and him, if I go into his live, I mean, if he says something, then I'll answer it. But that's the way it should be, you know. Because I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody likes a know-it-all, and not everybody is a know-it-all. So yeah, but no, like I said, Joel, that episode was streamed live on August 17th of this year. And again, just really awesome stuff. So, what more can I say? And coming up on our final episode review tonight, the year in review that is 2024, was our good friend Gloria DeMars. Uh, it was actually I was actually introduced to Gloria by our good friend Brian, and her TikTok page sticks out to me because she does a lot of skits involving wine. So I always just call her the wine lady, and she's a pretty damn good bowler too, I might add as well. So when I had the opportunity to ask her to come onto the show, and again, this one, y'all, this was done like 4 weeks ago. This was done back on November 16th. So yeah, hey, what's going on, Josh? Welcome in. But yeah, Gloria DeMars. So we had her on there, and let me tell you the cool thing about it, y'all. How many people do you know? And I'm gonna read the description of how I worded the episode when I posted it on the website. I said, originally from Chicago, Illinois, but currently resides in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In this episode, Gloria talks to us about how she met her husband, the secret to a happy marriage, being on the dance team with the Chicago Bulls, and actually getting to meet and take a photo with the one and only Michael Jordan, bowling her first ever 300 game, and winning an elusive eagle in the Women's Open when it was in Chicago, her hometown. So let's see, collectively all pro shop operations support each other for the game. But yes, absolutely, I agree with that, Jeff. I could not have said that better myself. But the fact that again she shot her first 300, y'all, she won an eagle. I mean, come on, y'all. How many of us can say we won an eagle? As it's a short list, uh, but she was very. The thing that stood out to me about Gloria is she's happy. She's happy. She's bubbly, and she's full of energy. And these are the kind of attitudes that we need for the sport of bowling. This is what's only going to help us get better in what we're doing is having people uh, like herself, just with her smile and her vibrant energy, and just being able to go out there and have a good time with it. And again, like I said, I talked to her a little bit about it. I even asked her, I said, well, what's the secret to a happy marriage? And she answered that one. And, she's been with her husband for about a decade now. And it's an awesome thing to see because the relationships they don't last like they used to, y'all. Austin, thank you for all of the gifts you have given me. The bracelet, I think you gave me some Fest Burst and some donuts. I do appreciate that. But y'all, look at that. So from April 24th to November 15th, I have put together 15 episodes of Calling All Bowlers. And it's really I just want to come on here and give a big old thank you to all of you. I want to give a big old thanks to Dustin for coming in and helping me with some of the episodes when he did and was able to. And again, like I said, that's I've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 states. 12 states I've covered. Let's see. What was your favorite moment? Favorite moment. Oh my goodness. I think uh boy, that's a good question, Curtis. Curtis, I've had so many. Um I think one of my favorite moments was to find it here. I really liked the dialogue that Dustin and Paul had, considering that they both live in they live. Dustin has lived in the state of Oregon. Paul lives in the state of Oregon. Um, Being able to get their perspective on things and how they knew things and how it was so similar, that was a pretty cool deal. Uh, Talking with Richard about the whole handicap debacle, that was a really good discussion. Um, you know, talking to Jen about the California experience and how they have Asian tournaments out there and how they have the Hawaiian tournaments and stuff. That's a really cool deal because, like I said, I'm all about learning about different cultures and how they integrate with bowling. It's just a really cool deal. Stephanie and Jen, the Tennessee twins, um, getting to know their perspective on things. Like I said, y'all, uh, Jen has put in a lot of work in her game and is somebody that I really admire and look up to, and how she can get on there and really just uh, really just be vulnerable and be authentic. That's the thing, and that's one of the reasons why episode 2 was really cool, like it was. So, um, just I think the best moment collectively though is just the fact of the matter is of how many states I've covered in 15 episodes, and how my goal is to be able to cover doing an episode for Calling All Bowlers and covering all 50 states. So that is probably my big thing. So we've got Michigan. So right now Utah, we did Tennessee twice, Ohio, Oregon, Alabama twice. Let's see, South Carolina, California, Florida twice, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Indiana. So 12 states. So what does that mean? What do we have coming up? So your boy is putting together a couple of other episodes for Calling All Bowlers. Next Saturday night, That's ooh, y'all. I'm, hmm, I don't even remember. I'm getting the interview stuff. Oh, hang on, y'all. I had to put the puzzle. I had to put the puzzle piece back in. I think my favorite episode is right after Junior Gold with the college coach. I forget his name. James Moore. You're talking about James Moore. That was episode 11. But yeah, Curtis, a lot of great moments I've had, but just being able to cover the amount of states I have was probably my most favorite part of the whole series. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, yeah, 12 states. So yeah, he was an excellent guy. Yeah, he had a pretty good perspective. You're right, Hayden. But no, coming up next week, I'm going to get all the details filled in. I'll be advertising it on YouTube, TikTok. But we're going to be talking to our good friend, Miss Maya, which will help me cover the great state of Nevada. Miss Maya is from Las Vegas, so we know it's going to be one of those episodes that it's definitely going to be a good one. I love Miss Maya. Miss Maya is very passionate about bowling. She has a very she has a very happy-go-lucky attitude, and that just makes people flock to her. And she's a big supporter of the DGAB brand. It's just like every time I send her a message, she's like, "Hey, DGAB," and I can just hear her in my head. And when you're on one of her lives and she's bowling, and she says hi to everybody. It's just really good stuff. So I'm very pleased that we're going to be featuring Miss Maya next Saturday. I'm going to get that time out to you guys. And as soon as I know all that stuff, also, I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Dwight Green, also known as Go Time. But those are my next two upcoming guests, which is going to help me cover two more states. So let's see what we got here. What was it like doing your first one? Were you nervous? You do it. I don't know. Let me see here. Give me a second here. Well, I wasn't. I wasn't like nervous that I felt like I was going to trip over myself during it, but you know how I am all about being prepared for things. And when I'm not prepared, I never feel like I'm putting out the best product possible. So being able to have a lot of prep time and put notes in it, like right now, I have no notes in front of me. Like I am talking to you guys. I'm talking to you guys on YouTube. I'm talking to you guys on TikTok. I mean, I'm going in blind. I don't have any kind of notes or anything. We're free willing it. That's what we're doing. So uh, let's see, Mike. You should make professional league bowler merch. Oh my God, Hayden! If you got any ideas, send them to me. I want to hear them. Doing things off the cuff is difficult, no doubt. Yes, sir, it is. Just right off the dome. Yep, right off the dome, and it's a very pretty shiny dome too at that. So there you go. But no, just we're making good progress. We've got uh, we've got a lot of great things coming up for 2025. And what I'm hoping is Curtis, Dustin, and myself are going to be able to finally put that 1 year anniversary show for the Damn Good Average Bowler podcast. We'll be able to do the year in review 2024 for that one as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that episode. Um, but um, just I want to take the last couple minutes of this broadcast right here to let you guys know that without all of y'all, Damn Good Average Bowler would not be what it is. We have done a lot of great stuff this year. I am so happy of the direction. It's kind of felt, I'm not going to say, it's kind of felt a little stale. We're trying to work on some stuff like that. Me and the guys, we constantly have video conferences and talk about ideas and stuff to kind of get things back off the ground. But y'all, it's been this last half of the year is such a busy time. And when we're able to do these things, it's one of those things. It's some of it comes together, some of it don't. It's just one of those things. So, uh, Jim G, how good is the Storm Phase 3? Phase 3, not as good as the Phase 2 from what I hear. So, all right, what we got here? Mike, what do you think about the Extreme Envy being rumored soon to be discontinued? It won't hurt my feelings a bit because the Pure Envy, whatever they were missing on the Extreme Envy, they made up for it and then some with the Pure Envy. So that's my opinion on that. So, But no, guys, like I said, calling all boys this time of year equals being super busy and getting sick. Yeah, yep, Dustin's sick. And again, like I said, you have what's going on with you today. And again, we are hoping that we get all past all this and we get this stuff going because I really want to do the 1 year anniversary episode for the Damn Good Average Bowler podcast. But I'm really happy that I could come on here with you guys and talk to y'all about the Calling All Bowlers a Year in Review. Sorry, what was the name of the episode of the proprietary interview? That one was with Mike Roseman. That was episode 12. Episode 12, Grit. I bowled a 300 with the Pure Envy. I did too, Jim, and an 800. It's freaking awesome. Going around there, South Florida, huh? Well, I'm going to tell you, in Bama here, it's been 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 20 degrees, 50 degrees, 30 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degree, 20 degree. Thank you. We'll watch after your cast. All right. So the last thing I want to come on here and say to you guys is thank you. Thank you so much for your continued support. Please, 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 on TikTok, this is for TikTok. I'll get to YouTube in a minute, but for TikTok, please consider becoming a subscriber to my TikTok channel. If you can't, no problem. I totally understand, but just so anybody knows, it is $2.99 a month. I am not going up on my price. I gave it some thought. We're not going up in 2025. It will be $2.99 a month. And I'm going to hopefully have a little bit more stuff on the agenda to help you guys. One of the things I've noticed here lately is people are totally digging the ASMR videos I'm posting from the shop work I do. If there's stuff that you want to suggest, send me a message and let me know what you are interested in seeing as far as TikTok clips go. If there's anybody out here again over the age of 18 or over, if you want to be a potential guest on future Calling All Bowlers, and what will help you is if you know that there's a state I have not done. So, Grit, thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it, good sir. That puts us at 50. Um, Thank you so much. Um, but consider, like I said, we're not going up on the price. It's going to stay just that way. And hopefully, I'll be able to get some more exclusive content going. We've got some plans coming up for the new year. And it's just like getting past, like I said, all these particulars. Like I said, between people getting sick, people having stuff come up. And it's just one of those things. But hopefully, we're going to get on a really good set schedule. I'm still going to do my in live at the shop. I'm going to do my late night lives like I normally do. Those are still going to be a thing. And just keep on keeping on, y'all. And if you can't become a subscriber, no big deal. Give us a follow, leave a like, leave a comment anytime I do post a TikTok or I post it on YouTube Shorts or something. But the second thing is also consider giving us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. That one doesn't cost anything. I am currently sitting at 470 subscribers on YouTube. I am trying to hit the goal before the end of the year. So about 16, 17 days, I'm hoping we can get to the 500 subscriber landmark. So if you guys can, please send my page out to all your friends, have them become a subscriber to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, guys, this is going to close us out on our Calling All Bowlers 2024 year in review broadcast. Again, like I said, any ideas you have for bowling content, if you potentially want to be a guest on the show, please send me a message on TikTok. Send it to me on send me a comment on YouTube. You can also get a hold of us on our Facebook page, or Instagram page. Just let us know if you want to be a guest on the show. I'll be really, really appreciative of that. So, with that being said, thank you all for the likes. Thank you all for being a part of this wonderful broadcast tonight. This is your boy Michael Price, also known as the Damn Good Average Bowler. Also, Average Bowler Tee merchandise. If that's something you want, let me know. Like I said, we got all the merch in the world, man. Y'all just come get some. Like I said, get you some Damn Good Average Bowler merch. Hats, beanies, shirts, stickers, shot glasses, patches. And that's another thing I want to leave on this broadcast. And it made me think of it because I just said patches. Um, we lost a good friend of ours this year here on TikTok. Um, William Duffel unfortunately passed away early November. It was out of nowhere. It was unexpected. Will was a very one of those like Britt, like Joel, like Paul, like Jen, very big supportive of the brand. Um, in the beginning of me getting on YouTube and TikTok, and he was very gung ho about us getting patches. And we finally put something together. He gave us these, and we bought some patches. And then I went to Joel's live, and or Wayne sent me a message, and I went to Joel's live. You know, unfortunately, was told that Will had unfortunately passed away. And one of those things, y'all, is just you may not have ever met the person in real life, but their influence and their impact in the bowling community is always felt. And that was Will. Will was felt because Will was a big time supporter of anything and everything DGAB. He helped Joel with all his stuff. And again, just that energy that he brought to the table of being able to look at you and say, hey, he didn't have to directly say it to you, but he basically let you know, hey, I believe in what you're doing. And so I am going to miss Will incredibly. His impact in the beginning for DGAB, uh, it will never be forgotten. So just hug your family, hug your friends. Y'all tell them you love them. Y'all take that picture. Just whatever you think might sound silly, just do it because life is short, y'all. Life is really short. And like I said, Will, Godspeed to you. Rest easy, our good old friend. And thank you for the amount of impact you had in helping me with getting these patches and just being a friend to the brand and being a friend to me and all of us here in the bowling community. And as wide as the country is, we all know just how small this bowling community is. So thank you, Will, and Godspeed to you, my friend, and rest easy. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here now. Again, TikTok, like, follow, subscribe. YouTube, please consider becoming a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Like and follow on Facebook. Give us a follow on Instagram. And with that being said, this concludes the Calling All Bowlers 2024 year-end review. I am Michael Price, the Damn Good Average Bowler, and we will, as our good friend Stephanie says to us, we will catch you on the flippity flip. Y'all have a good evening.